Coming up on this episode of Nintendo Cartridge Society. Unfortunately, we have added a second button. It's very quiet, please. My daughter is sick, so the Nintendo Cartridge Society is sick with you. Welcome to Nintendo Cartridge Society. My name is Patrick Ellers, and I am joined, as I am always joined, by my co-host, Conner McCabe. We've got a good show for you today. We're going to be talking about the news from the week, including that Kirby Air Rider Kirby Air Riders Nintendo Direct that was last week. And then on Thursday, Mark and I are talking about our favorite Nintendo DLC and expansions. But in the meantime, please welcome to the show the host of the Call Me By Your Game podcast, Conner McCabe is here. Conner, how's it going?
Patrick, it's going great. Thanks for having me once again.
Yes, and I love having you, Conner. I love talking about games with you.
And somehow I have returned.
Somehow Conner has returned.
Today's Zelda 2 quote.
It threw me for a little bit of a loop.
Yeah, and I promise I wasn't bringing it up to remind us of the loop you were thrown through.
Yes.
And the turmoil you went through trying to
I think it's good to acknowledge it. Yes.
But it really, like, the quote itself and you saying, and the Nintendo Cartridge Society is sick with you, or however it went.
Yes.
Really it just reminded me of that phenomenon where when someone close to you, or maybe it's just like a pregnant wife or something, is like sick, or I don't know if it's gaining weight or whatever, but the husband does that too.
Right. You shave your head when your friend has chemotherapy or whatever.
This sort of like empathetic, like just glomming on of a condition. I don't know. It just struck me today, and I was like, you know what? I am sick with the listener.
You're sick with the listener.
Because I'm always assuming that's who we're referring to. Yes. Wasn't it worth it for me to bring this up at the beginning of the show?
Here's my stumbling point. So, yes the verb of, like, is sick is a strange one for us to identify with, that we will be sick with you. What threw me was the first sentence, which is part of the same line. Mm-hmm. It goes, "It's very quiet, please." My daughter is sick. It's very quiet, please.
Yes.
Is it commanding you to?
It's very quiet, comma, please, comma, my daughter is sick.
Here's what it is. It's very quiet, please, period. My daughter is sick, period. No other punctuation.
And you know what? That's where my investigation of this ends.
It's a perplexing bit of dialogue, and I know that there is some of that in Zelda 2, and that's part of why we like it. It's part of why I like it. I know I'm alone frequently in liking Zelda 2. But yeah, look. We'll move on to another more accessible quote next week, and in the weeks following.
I love it.
Oh, actually, on that topic.
Yes.
Next week, NCS Going Dark. So we will not have news or topic episode next week. Mark and I will be back in your feeds on Thursday this week, where we are celebrating the release of Kirby and the Forgotten Land plus Star-Crossed Worlds, with our favorite Nintendo expansions and DLC and stuff. That's a fun episode. But then yes, we are going to be taking one week off, and we'll be back the first full. I guess not the second week in September. We're back.
A well-earned siesta, if I may.
Oh my, siesta.
Oh, Patrick, this is why you're the host.
We're branding it. It's the siesta.
Come on, Discord, do your thing.
I don't even know what that means.
Yeah, I don't know. Get that going.
Yeah, get it going. Conner, what's going on Call Me By Your Game and your co-op episomes? Let's talk a little bit about that before we dive in.
Thanks for asking. Call Me By Your Game, the weekly version of the podcast that I host. As some listeners of this show will know, I bring on a guest to hear from them about a meaningful game from a particular moment in their life. Recently, we've talked about a couple of oddities. We've talked about Leonardo the Inventor, which was really more of a multimedia edutainment experience that someone brought on to talk about.
Fantastic.
And coming up in a couple of, not this week, but the following week, we'll have an episode about actually a Nintendo game, Mario Paint. which I believe you'll probably enjoy very much.
I'm sure I will. Will you tease who the guest is?
Yes, Nick Luciano. I'm not sure if you know Nick, but so that should be a ton of fun, which it's kind of timing out well with the release of Mario Paint, but still doing those episodes pretty much every week throughout the month, and the co-op series, which is more of a group overview version of the show where I get a group of people together to talk about one game at a time and dive more into the game itself rather than
it's a little bit less like biographical context.
We certainly touch on it if it's applicable for people, but this is truly more of like hey, I want to listen to people talk about a game for an hour and a half to 2 hours style of episode.
You're still rocking indie games.
We're rocking indie games through this year. We've done a ton of fun titles. I mean, you and Mark and former guest of the show, Matt Acevedo, came on to discuss Shovel Knight. And we touched a little bit on some of the treasure trove that's there.
Just a little bit,
though. A little bit.
Not nearly enough for my liking.
No, certainly not. And then we've got a actually good friend of, I don't believe she's been on this show, but friend of our network at Super NPC Radio, Courtney Vinay's, is hosting an episode on Balatro next month. Those are a Patreon exclusive at the time of release. They come out on YouTube the next week for free, and then old versions of those are released in my feed anyway. So if you just can't get enough podcasts about video games, sometimes they're Nintendo related, come find my show.
So find Connor's show, and this is an and thing. You can go to patreon.com/Nintendo Cartridge Society if you'd like to support this show. We are currently, of course, doing NCS at the Movies, is the miniseries that we're doing there for the remainder of this year, where Mark and I go to the movies. Connor came with us one time.
I sure did. I was there. I was in the theater for the Fantastic Four First Steps, and I was the most positive on it out of anyone in our group. And since first of all, I've listened to every one of these episodes at the movies.
Connor.
I love, even if I have differing opinions and thoughts about the movie, it's so fun because it feels like I'm, a fly in the wall in this conversation about a movie I just saw. I've been loving the series, so I'm glad you all are doing it.
And I'm looking forward to Mark being back in town so we can knock out an episode for September. And honestly, I know, we've got 3 more to do through the end of the year. I believe we're going to do a crossover at the Movies / Detective Club for Wake Up Dead Man, the Knives Out movie, because that feels like a good crossover point there. I think we'll probably just do as many of these as we. We have 3 more to do. I wouldn't be surprised if there were more. I'm not making any promises right now. And especially not without Mark here to sign off on it. But they're fun to do. We like having guests on to do those things. So check that out if you are interested. You can also follow us for free. Free stuff pops over there from time to time. And also, if you're not in our Discord yet, email us at Nintendo Cartridge Society at gmail.com. And I'll send you an invitation, and you can chat with us about Nintendo stuff when it's happening live and that sort of thing. It's the place to be during a Nintendo Direct.
100%.
And maybe a little less relevant place to be during some other showcase.
But I've still seen some chatting going on during those.
We get it. It's where I know to go to hang out with other people who are watching stuff as it's happening. So, all right, Connor, let's get into what we've been playing this week. Connor, let's start with Donkey Kong Bananza.
Let's do it, Patrick.
So I want to hear about... I want to go first, and then I want to hear about how you're doing. So in previous episodes, I think probably 2 weeks ago, I had already beaten the game, had rolled credits, and moved myself into the sort of post-game. And this is still a not spoilery space about that post-game, other than just to say that there are more bananas and other challenges and stuff that you can go after. And Connor, this weekend, and I had sort of when I started messing around with the post game, I was like, I'm having fun. I don't think I'm going to 100% this thing. Connor, I 100%ed this thing.
Oh!
Every banana that there was to be got.
Ooh, can I retake what I said?
Yeah.
Oh!
Banana! Yes, very good.
Telegraph that from 100 miles away.
No, but it's good to go back for it.
Yes.
Just like there was some joke that July set me up for last week that like he set me up for it and I repeated it back to him and he was like, no, and like set me up for it again.
Oh, what was that?
I don't remember.
I heard. Oh,
I think it was Under the Sea, I think is what it was.
yes.
In any event, I've 100%ed this game,
Wow.
gotten all the bananas, all the fossils, all of the records, and just literally done everything I could do in the game. And like I had to have a little like ritualistic moment with it where I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm gonna like take the cart out of my Switch 2. I took some photographs with DK and Pauline
Aw.
before just to like commemorate it. And then yeah, now I'm just like done with it.
Goodness.
Do you know
gracious.
that feeling when you
Yes.
reach like the end of it? Like not just you finished a game, but you're like, and now I will no longer come back to this.
Yeah, I mean, you were talking about taking the cart out of the Switch 2, and
Yes.
it does feel very ceremonious. I've had that experience a few times this year, whether it be with a cartridge, a disc, you name it, and it feels very final.
Yeah, which is where I am with DK Bonanza right now. I don't know like where I think the game is brilliant. I really loved it. And it's kind of silly to try and like stack it against like Breath of the Wild or Super Mario Odyssey or like other Nintendo games from the last decade that I've loved. But like it ranks among them.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so I just had a really magical time with it, and I feel a Donkey Kong shaped hole in my life right now.
I have a question for you about your experience, especially cleaning up and getting to that 100% marker. Were you just using the treasure maps that you would find in the chests? Were you using a list online? How did you go about that process?
Yeah, so I would say you do not need to use online tools for this at all.
That's so fun.
Because the game is very good at like you can find treasure chests pretty easily, and you can buy treasure. You can buy the maps to bananas and fossils. But also just like after I beat the game and I would go back into a world, I would always start by just sort of like walking through it and be like, what parts of these do I not really recognize from my first playthrough? And I would just spend a little time exploring, and usually that would yield a bunch of fossils and a bunch of bananas. And then like when that sort of got tapped out and I knew there was still a bunch of stuff, I would go to a big destructible area, turn on the elephant mode, and just suck up earth until I was spawning treasure chests. There's one of the ties spawns treasure chests more frequently.
Okay.
So you just equip that. And then that's like you do that for like 10 minutes and you've got all the treasure maps you could ever use, and you just go around and collect all the fossils and stuff.
That's amazing. And go ahead.
No, I was just saying it was really like fun and rewarding too, even though that's like a little bit of a cheat and you're taking like the core exploration element and replacing it with like a waypoint on the map. Because you've done so much exploration already, it's like it just feels like the rewarding part of that.
That makes a lot of sense to me, and it feels like you can give yourself permission to do that. We'll get into it, but I'm also playing the game, and there are plenty of moments where, as much as I think I'm very thorough in an area, I oftentimes will leave knowing that there are I don't know, mounds I have not dug upon.
Yes.
If you catch my drift. So, and then I'm kind of giving myself permission, if I want to come back, to use those tools that are at my disposal.
Yes. Well, and like I would definitely say that like the game is fun to explore. Allow yourself to explore it as you're initially going through it. But the second you're like, this area is getting a little old for me, just go.
Yep.
Because like you'll come back, and coming back will be more fun, and you'll have leveled up more, and it'll be even easier to like clear stuff out. And that doesn't make it less engaging, because like the moment to moment punching and digging of the game is so satisfying. I was playing the game on mute the other day, and was just blown away by how good the HD rumble is on it. Just that like there's the amount of force feedback when you break every block and dig every inch with that monkey like feels good and fun, and it just it's a remarkable little experience.
And playing in that method sound off. Do you feel the distinction between breaking certain objects or environments. Okay, yeah. Because
Like
that's something I
it's in
think I'm
there.
feeling too, but the sound adds to the experience. So
It totally does.
I
Yeah.
cannot always tell if what is doing the heavy lifting there, but that's amazing to hear.
Yeah, that it's all like working in
Mhm.
concert. And like some of that is just like I don't really know how because the game does a bunch of like little slowdown things too when like you pick up like very heavy objects or like land a blow. Like
Mhm.
there's a very intentional. It does everything to make every contact feel like something satisfying.
Mhm.
Sometimes it's in the sound, sometimes it's visually represented, and sometimes it's in the force feedback in your hand. And usually it's all three working in concert.
Mhm.
And yeah, just what a special experience
That's
that is.
awesome.
Where are you now in this game? I know you're going a little bit more slowly through
Oh, am I going slow?
Ooh,
I
baby.
really wish I had a little more time for this game. I'm about 7, maybe approaching 8 hours in. I spent so much time in I forget the name of the area, but the Red Rock area.
Yes, the canyon layer.
The canyon layer.
Where you meet the fractones that look like giraffes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And after a thorough experience there, I made my way to the split path
Mhm.
and decided to go the way of the tropical environment, not the snow.
Right.
Which is
so
to the right.
You went to the right to the forest layer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I am still only scratching the surface.
Connor, I think you're the only person that I've talked to that went forest layer over the freezer layer.
I'll be honest, I think the reason I did was because everyone I heard from went left, and so I zagged.
Yeah.
Just to see what the experience was
Yeah.
like. For if that, I'm sure there's going to be not a substantial difference at all.
No, I mean, and
but
that's really the only fork that you experience in the
Yes.
game. But yeah,
I really just have to say that I can only echo what a lot of other people, including yourself, have expressed about it on how brilliant this game is in every single way. You and Jeremy and I got to talk recently in person, and I was expressing, because I had played a little bit, I think either that afternoon or the night before,
yeah,
and I was in the headspace where I was just appreciating every little detail they had put in, and I couldn't get over how satisfying, or I was struck rather at how satisfying it was on the simplest thing of punching an object. Specifically, when you just break a banana, it always takes 3 hits.
Mhm.
And whether you decide to mash the attack button to get a nice 1, 2, 3, or you get on top, you smash down, you punch up, or like you were expressing how you like to dive onto one
I love
and just
diving
pound
onto
through
them.
it as
Yep.
you hear the click, click, bang.
Yeah.
Everything they just, it really reminds me of the anecdotes that I've heard about of building Super Mario 64 and how they wanted just the simple act of running and jumping in that 3D environment to be fun. And then this is probably just a big Nintendo philosophy in general.
Yes.
And how everything sort of, it's a ripple effect out from there, design-wise. And I can feel it here. It's phenomenal. I don't know when I'm going to finish it. But
I mean, you've got a lot to go.
I know. And you might know at this point, I have 1 transformation, and I know there are 5.
There are 5,
and I've seen all of them.
I would assume at this point that you have seen them all. I guess I
Yes.
did spoil the elephant one.
Oh, I knew
Just
about
now,
that.
yeah, but-
Yes, I have seen someone in my household using the elephant one, but Bonanza's amazing.
Well, Connor, I expect regular updates as you're playing
Oh
through.
yes.
What else have you been playing this week?
I am currently over at our network, Super NPC Radio, for our current games club that we are doing. We are covering Death Stranding 2 on the beach, a Hideo Kojima game.
Mhm.
And I ate up the first one about a year ago when we covered that on our Patreon. This one is no different. I might even like it better in some ways.
Okay.
It's reminiscent to me of how I felt moving from Breath of the Wild to Tears of the Kingdom. I don't know if it's going to top the first one for me. There are things that this game, I think, iterated on in amazing ways and is doing so much better. But it is maybe like a single experience. I don't know if it triumphs, and I'm not in a position to. It doesn't even matter
Sure.
if it is better or not. I'm just loving the experience. It's so bizarre. I'd be curious if anyone else in the Discord has played the first one, your Discord, or
Yes.
is playing number 2. But it's just as you know from our Resident Evil 4 remake
Oh, yeah.
series, it's so fun to sit down with friends and talk about this game
Yeah, and
every
just
week.
do like a nice leisurely like stroll through the game
Yes.
and discuss that progress as you're experiencing it. I do. I really like, and I think it doesn't really happen enough anymore. Um, but I really like the like direct sequel, right? Like
Mhm.
taking a game like Death Stranding and being like, okay, the next time out,
Yes.
we're gonna like iron out these things, and like maybe some of what was like special in like the spark of the original can't be recreated, but like I don't know, video games are so iterative anyway,
Mhm.
and like you can playtest and playtest and playtest, and it's not really until the entire world gets their hands on it that you're like, oh yeah, maybe this should be a little bit different. That like I wish Nintendo would do that kind of stuff more.
Yes.
And like Tears of the Kingdom is like such a phenomenal example of like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, they just like did a sequel to Breath of the Wild,
Yes.
and like changed your relationship to Hyrule with it. But the game is the same, even though it's totally not.
Absolutely.
And I feel like that's a lot of what I'm hearing from you guys as I listen to you talk about Death Stranding 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, just an interesting phenomenon that I feel like we don't get that much of anymore.
Yeah, maybe the ways that I experience it the most are generally from like Sony prestige franchises. Like God of War, Ragnarok
Yep.
felt a lot like that. Of course, so did Spider-Man 2 from Marvel Spider-Man 1.
Right.
Even The Last of Us 2, I would say.
Last of Us is kind of like that.
Yeah.
Well, and like we're about to get Ghost of Yotei as well. Like
Yes.
that's going to be like an iteration on the whole Ghost of Tsushima thing. I'm very excited about that.
Yes.
And yeah, it is interesting that like a lot of those games do feel like they are improvements in some ways, and then in other ways like missing some of like the spark of the original.
Yeah.
Which is an interesting like kind of phenomenon. It's like that used to be just like how games were made though, right?
Mhm.
Like they made 3 Uncharted games on on PlayStation 3, right? And now we haven't seen an Uncharted game in like a decade.
Yeah.
Just weird stuff.
Yes.
Okay, Death Stranding 2 still going good, still having fun. I just want to mention here that I turned on the Jamboree TV part of Super Mario Party.
Did you know?
Jamboree plus Super Mario Party Jamboree Nintendo Switch 2 edition plus Jamboree TV.
Okay.
Played it a little bit over the weekend on my birthday actually.
Happy belated.
Yes, thank you. And it I was playing some of the camera games and it's it feels way more gimmicky than I was expecting it to. Even for a Mario Party with camera controls.
Yes.
Where it's like, Patrick, what were you expecting? I don't know. I think I was expecting more.
Yeah.
It felt like a pretty shallow experience. I would still like to play it with like a bunch of people.
Mhm.
I think that could be sort of fun. But it taught me a couple things about the Nintendo Switch 2 camera.
Okay.
For example, I didn't realize that like the head is on like a little swivel. You can tilt it up and down.
Oh, amazing.
I had no idea. Connor can look at it right now in front of my
yeah.
TV. Because for a while I was like, man, I really wish this thing was higher up. But where am I going to put it higher up?
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, I can just tilt it.
Okay, nice.
So anyway, I played a little bit of that. Seems okay.
And had you played? I had played Jamboree using your copy with you before,
Yes.
but was your opinion like? I assume this didn't. What was your opinion of that base game in the first place? Does this add to it at all for you?
Not. I mean, it does technically add to it, in that like there's more stuff there. But like I'm not the biggest Mario Party guy to begin with.
Yes.
And I did find a good amount of fun in Jamboree, but partially that was just because like I played a couple of games over at like I brought it over to Jeremy's and we were playing at one of our parties, and then like Sarah's nieces were in town for Christmas and like we played with them and they were having fun with it, so therefore I was also having fun with it. But like and Christmas, mind you, was 8 months ago.
Yeah.
So no, I don't really. I think it is a good execution of a Mario Party game, but I don't have that much need for a Mario Party game in my life.
Yes, I see.
Connor, we've each played one more game. And I've only played a little tiny bit
Okay.
of mine. So tell me about Gravity Rush.
Gravity Rush. Have you seen this? Patrick, have you heard about this?
It sounds like you're about to tell me a monologue joke from late night in the 90s.
I should have one ready, but I didn't do my homework.
I would never put that on.
Yes. Gravity Rush, for the listener, if the listener isn't aware, is a 3D third-person action game, really focused on the traversal of a character moving around and shifting the, plane of gravity.
Love shifting gravity.
And it's a game that I believe originally came out for the PlayStation Vita, which is what I've been playing it on, but it's also available on PlayStation 4 and probably PlayStation 5. Those are probably the better, more graphically impressive ways to play it.
There's something about holding the game in your hand, though.
And that's what I love it. I've had a Vita for 3.5 years, and I've had very few... I've taken very little time to have a significant experience with the games that made the Vita, and also there aren't that many because Sony kind of abandoned it early on.
Yes.
This is one that on a recent trip I just
There's
decided.
an Uncharted game on there, by the way.
Yes, which I actually own that
Yep.
hard copy of Golden Abyss and Tearaway. Those are the two hard copies I own.
Yes.
But I decided to download Gravity Rush, and this has become a game that I play for sometimes 15 to 30 minutes right before going to bed.
Oh, wonderful.
I will put or if I have like a little break during the day, where you know what, I've been at this computer too long, I'm going to go sit and play this for 15 minutes. And it is incredibly enjoyable. It's reminds me so much of it's very reminiscent, I think, of Spider-Man because of the traversal. You're not swinging through a city, but you are flying through one.
Yeah, sure.
I'm loving that. The music and the characters in the world are very Fire Emblem reminiscent. Mostly in just their design, but there is something charming about that. And I can't quite say if the story is great, but I'm just loving. I'm genuinely loving.
You can't say if it is, or you can't say that it is.
I can't say if it is yet,
Okay.
but there does seem to be a lot of love here with the writing and the characters, so I bet they can get there. I'm very impressed by it, especially this little thing that's on the Vita. I am like treasuring this experience.
Yeah.
I'm either doing that or like reading for 15 to 20 before bed, usually.
You know what? I've actually started. This is not on my list of games that I've been playing, but partly because I have a hard time thinking of it as a game. I am playing Hotel Dusk, Room 215. Sorry. The DS game. Because it is it's the same artist that did Dear Me I Was.
Okay.
And last year's Another Code Recollection. It's all in that same graphical style, and it's like a detective sort of visual novel, but like there's a little bit more interactivity to it than that. It is it's very charming, but like kind of intensely boring, where after like 15 minutes I like am asleep. But it's very cool, and I'm glad that I found like a DS copy so I could play that. I don't know that I'm going to finish it. How Long to Beat says it's like 15 hours.
Oh wow.
I've maybe put in 45 minutes. Because I play it for 15 minutes and I'm like, all right, I need to take a nap.
Yes.
But I like having a little. I should really start to add that to the like cool down routine at the end of the night.
Yeah, it's been fun. I've just been kind of like, as I was telling you before the show, making time to go to bed early, to wake up early.
Yeah.
I'm also trying to get in bed just to kiss early, and do a little like enjoyable activity like that.
Yeah.
So.
I will also say that I turned on Chibi-Robo on the GameCube on Nintendo Switch Online. And played it for maybe half an hour. And I fully intend to go back. It's very interesting and weird. And I don't think the game starts with a little girl celebrating her birthday.
Okay.
And the little girl is wearing like a frog hood, like a hat that's like of a frog. And her mother starts by like putting another hat like on top of that hat and is like, "Here, honey, we got you this." And the little girl doesn't like it. She throws it off, says, "Ribbit, ribbit." And her mom's like, "You can't always be dressed as a frog." And she's like, "Ribbit, ribbit." And her dad's like, "I'll let her. She wants it." And it's so strange. And the dad is like the design on this dad character. He's like wearing like an open button down shirt with like a t-shirt under it, and the t-shirt has a big number 3 on it. And he looks a little bit like the dude from Big Lebowski. And it's just like a straight up chiller.
Mm-hmm.
And I just was not prepared for how strange this game is.
Yes.
Because then you are introduced as like a little robot who is the birthday present.
Yes.
And the dad's all excited about it, and the mom's like, you didn't get that for her. You got that for you. And he's like, no, she said she wanted it. And the little girl goes, ribbit, ribbit. I don't know what's happening in this game.
And this sounds like your first time ever turning
This
it
is
on.
my first time ever playing Chibi-Robo.
I've also never touched it and only known it from afar, and it's so bizarre to have access to this now.
And I was going to say we all do, but you need to have a Nintendo Switch and
Yes,
subscribe to Nintendo
that's
Switch
true.
Online Plus expansion pack. But hey, man, I love having that GameCube controller in my hand and controlling a tiny little robot guy.
And you're, unbeknownst to the family, sort of like cleaning up after them and fixing their lives?
You earn happiness points.
Okay.
So like the first when you first appear, you pick a flower and give it to the little girl. She says ribbit ribbit, and you're rewarded with 40 happiness points. And then you like go out at night and you start like picking up the trash and putting it in the proper receptacle. But you're also meeting all these other, like the toys come alive at night. And so like you're meeting them and learning about their problems, and you're like, okay, these are all things I'm going to fix and earn more happiness points.
Okay.
And then when you get enough happiness points, then you become a more loved robot, and then you can get upgrades.
Amazing.
So a very strange thing that I believe I'm going to revisit. I don't know how I'm going to beat it, but it's cool and weird. So I'm into it, Connor.
Awesome.
All right. Well, that's what we've been playing this week. Let's get into the new releases and what we might be playing next week. Okay, first things first, we have to check in with the Nintendo Music app. Last week, at the time that Jeremy and I recorded, we did not have an update to the Nintendo Music app, but with the release of the Nintendo Direct about Kirby Air Riders, they added 7 tracks from the upcoming Kirby's Air Riders to the service.
Unprecedented.
And there was a notice on the Nintendo Today app on Monday evening saying that had been added. But of course, it hadn't actually been added. It was just like the timing was a little messed up. So here we are, 7 days later, and we have no update to the Nintendo Music app.
So, wait.
So we got Kirby Air Riders. We got 7 tracks from it, a game that has not come out yet.
Those landed to the app.
Yes,
okay.
Last Tuesday.
Yes.
And this includes both the English and Japanese language versions of the song.
Because there is singing.
Because they're singing. Was my eye roll audible?
Absolutely. The listener can feel that.
But so here we are again. We do not have an update to the Nintendo Music app, making me wonder what's going on here.
Yeah, were they like you got enough? This 1 week counts as 2 with Air Riders, or
why?
Is there something more afoot?
Is there something more afoot? I think it's possible, Connor, that something more is afoot.
And do you have any theories as to what this could mean?
Here's my current theory.
Because I want there to be something going on.
Here's what I think could be going on. And it involves Metroid Prime 4.
I was hoping you were going to take me down this rabbit hole.
Metroid Prime 4 still supposedly coming out this year, right? We got, we'll talk about it in the news, but Kirby Air Riders has been dated for November 20th. That means that we have games, obviously, here in August with Kirby and Dragon Drive. We have a game in October, which is Pokemon. November is Air Riders. But what about September? That feels like the place where Metroid Prime 4 should be.
Yes, something I think this is a sentiment that both you and I have been sharing for a little while, seeing this gap.
Yes.
But
we are running out of time to announce the release date for a September game.
Yes. And I'm still so once the Air Riders Direct was announced.
I know.
We all were like, well, then it's going to come out shortly after that because that's what's been happening.
That's been the pattern.
And that, you know what? Once again, the pattern is broken.
The pattern was broken. Yes. So, why do we even look for the patterns then?
Because we need some sort of things to make sense at times to feel good.
Connor, do you remember what happened the last time a Metroid Prime game was released?
Would this have been not the remaster of one?
That is exactly the one what I'm
Okay.
referring to. It was revealed in a Nintendo Direct and released
February Direct?
I think so, yes.
Yeah.
And then released digitally that day.
Yes.
I think it's possible that they are going to come in incredibly hot with Metroid Prime 4. I don't think we're going to get like a shadow drop necessarily, but I think they could announce a release date for it this week on Nintendo Today, and it comes out in 2 weeks.
I would love that.
The game has been rated in the US by the ESRB.
Holy moly.
So it's ready to go. We don't, I mean, if there were like physical copies of it out in the wild, like I feel like it would have broken containment at this point, but like maybe they plan to release it digitally first. Who knows? That's what they did with
this is
with
our
the remaster.
poverty franchise, Metroid.
Yes.
Period. And so this is how we do this now.
This is how we do this now.
Huh.
But I don't know. But how does this relate to the music app? Could they do a release date trailer that launches tomorrow with also like a couple tunes from Metroid Prime 4 on the Nintendo Music app? Possible.
I can't tell them not to.
You can't. They wouldn't listen to you.
They wouldn't.
But I don't know. Is that likely? I don't know. Why no update? Why no update if not something crazy?
Yeah, I can't say either if it's likely, but it's a possibility I hadn't considered till you brought it up, and who's to say it won't happen?
All right, so moving on to the other new releases this week. Coming out on Wednesday, August 27th, the Story of Seasons Grand Bazaar, which we saw in one of the Nintendo Directs, is coming out. And then on Thursday, I think this is like the big release for this week, is the Kirby and the Forgotten Land Nintendo Switch 2 edition, plus Star-Crossed World, comes out on Switch 2. What's that about, Connor?
Well, I really loved Kirby and the Forgotten Land. I don't currently have plans to play the DLC, but if I hear it's good, baby, I might have to.
Yeah, I feel in a similar place. So something that people may have just noticed from my not talking about it, I didn't pick up Dragon Drive. Last year I had made the promise to buy everything that Nintendo put out, and I am taking advantage this year of the fact that I didn't promise that.
Yes.
It feels a little weird to just like not get a first party thing. I obviously got this Jamboree TV. And I don't think I'm really going to get much use out of that. I do think Star-Crossed Worlds is going to be a more like complete gaming package than Jamboree TV was. But like, yeah, I'm a little bit anxious to see what reviews are like. I want to get more than like 4 hours of enjoyment out of it.
That would be nice.
But we'll see. Kirby games aren't the longest things to begin with.
No, yeah. Well, I guess we'll see.
We'll see. We will see. Also coming out on Friday, August 29th, is Shinobi Art of Vengeance, which reviews for that dropped, I believe, on Monday. And it looks like it's being pretty good reviews. Ninja games are back, Connor.
They really are.
There's 2 Ninja Gaiden games this year. And now the Shinobi game. Seems like cool stuff.
And if you count Ghost of Yote.
Sure, count it. Why not? She's a ninja.
Yeah.
Right?
Ninja adjacent. She's sneaking around. She's got a sword.
Was that Assassin's Creed game this year as well?
I think it was. I think it was like March, February.
Shadows?
Yeah, and that was... it took place in Japan.
Yes. All right, Connor. Those are the new releases, unless there was anything else you wanted to shout out on that list. Okay, great. Let's close that segment out. Now it is time for a regular segment on our show. It's time for 433. In 1952, American composer John Cage wrote a piece called 433 when a performer or a group of performers didn't play their instruments for 4 minutes and 33 seconds. For the purposes of this show, our instruments are talking about Nintendo. So, for the duration of one performance 433, Connor and I will talk about something not at all Nintendo related, thus fulfilling the contract of the piece. Last week, Jeremy and I were talking about the end of summer. You and I are not going to stray too far from that topic as we discuss swimming pools.
Yes.
What you like to do when you go to the pool? Do you have a pool that you like to go to?
Yes.
Well, yes.
Can I start by, I want to ask you a question first. Is that, are you someone who, if you have the ability, I guess it all depends on your access to a pool.
Yes.
Are you going to seek one out? Are you more of a pool than a beach person? Where do you fall?
Yeah, I'm definitely more of a pool than a beach person. I like going to the beach too, but
Yes.
it that feels like first of all, it's such a production.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta,
Oh, yeah.
You gotta drive to the other side of town,
Mhm.
which is a bigger deal than you think it is. And like pack stuff, and it's like a lunch and drinks, and
Yeah.
it's a whole thing. I like a pool.
Yes.
But I don't currently have like a regular pool that I like going to.
Yeah.
I know you've got a pool in your building.
Yes, which is huge, and we use every so often, especially as
Yeah.
it has gotten hotter. That's something that we use, and I love. It's very convenient to
Yeah.
be able to.
Have you gotten much use out of it this summer?
A lot more than last summer.
Okay,
Partly
yeah.
it's because my girlfriend lives with me now, and she likes the pool more than I do.
Oh, yes.
So it's very convenient on like a Friday afternoon where we're both done with our work from home, and she's like, "Hey, do you want to go to the pool for 30 minutes?" And I slap on some sunscreen, and I'm there.
Yeah.
Yes,
In the pool.
And I love to dip in. I like a cold. I don't even mind a cold temperature pool.
No.
I'll take a plunge. I'll take a brave dive, as I call it, into the pool. I also love being by a pool and playing a handheld video game system.
Oh my!
I won't stray too
Connor.
far.
Yeah.
But like that is enjoyable. I should bring my Vita.
Yeah, you should. Here's what we should do.
Yes.
Now, I can't talk about what I would do because
Yes.
it would be on a system that I cannot mention during this segment. But we should hang out by the pool and play our bedtime games.
That sounds amazing.
Does that sound like fun?
let's absolutely do this soon. But I love that. I had a pool. When my parents built a pool in our backyard, I think when I was about 12.
Oh, really?
Yes, and so it's the same house that they live in currently.
Yeah.
So I loved to swim. There was plenty of summers in high school where my shower that day was a dip in the pool, which is not the most high school boy thing you've ever heard of.
Such a high school boy thing, yes.
Um,
You probably smelled awful, Connor.
Probably terrible. One other thing I want to say about the pool, because I got to let you have some time as our time is going to wrap up soon.
No, we're good.
Pool
Don't think
basketball.
about the time.
So I might not be buying Drag and Drive like you, but
Yes.
pool basketball, if I can just be waist deep in water, shooting a ball through a
Yeah,
net,
that's fun.
I'm in heaven.
Here's the thing. That's so much better than water polo because, like, water polo is tough. You got to be treading water. There's no standing in the pool in water polo.
No,
You
not
got
at
to be
all.
swimming the whole time.
Yes, and I'll say, like, when it gets too deep for, like, a shot, I'm like, I'm too deep. Let's go back in the shallow end.
Yeah, that's great. We did live in a building once that had a pool.
Out here or
out here, yes.
Okay.
I don't know where else I would have, like in Chicago.
Yeah.
But yeah, for a place that we lived in for 14 months on Franklin, over by the entrance to Runyon Canyon.
Yes.
And that place had a pool in the courtyard, but it was like a genuine courtyard where there was like building all like on all four sides of it, which meant that it got sunlight for
4 minutes a day.
yeah, like literally 27 minutes in the middle of the day.
Goodness.
So like you could never really catch it.
Yeah.
And it mostly meant that there was just like loud splashing noises outside your bedroom window most weekend days. And so I learned to resent the pool a little bit.
I bet.
But yeah, I would love. I know that there is a pool that Sarah and I have been to a couple times. That's just like a little ways away.
Kind of like a community pool.
Yeah, a community pool that I feel like I should get back in the habit of actually
Yes.
going to.
Was there a community pool in your neighborhood growing up?
Oh, I guess we will never know.
And listener, it looked like he was going to say yes, but I can't say for sure.
You can't say for
Nope.
sure, and we'll never know what I was going to say. We were accompanied today by pianist Kyle Shaw. All right, Connor, let's get into the news. We mentioned it already, but the last Tuesday at 6 a.m., Nintendo released a 45-minute Nintendo Direct all about Kirby Air Riders. It was hosted by director Masahiro Sakurai, and in his like classic Super Smash Brothers like Ultimate kind of thing was just like straight down the barrel of the camera, like telling us about every nook and cranny of this game
Yes.
in like
Everything
hyper
imaginable.
detail. Game got a release date, which we already mentioned, of November 20th. A price tag of $69.99. And there's a bunch of info here. I don't know necessarily, Connor, that I want to go through all of this info. In fact, I know that I don't. Because it like is truly down to like, here are the characters, here are the vehicles, the machines that they ride, and here are like the main game modes. But I'd say like sort of top level stuff. The original Kirby Air Ride was a game where you were mostly playing as different color Kirbys. Bandana Waddle Dee and Meta Knight were like playable characters in some capacity, but not normally. This seems like it has a bunch of characters. And on top of that, like the character select screen has like a huge empty space for other characters that have yet to be announced. So it seems like they're going really hard into the world of Kirby for characters there. There's now a second button in addition to the boost button. There's a special button where you can use special attacks or like power-ups that you get. And then there are like two basic modes: the Air Ride, which is the race, and the City Trial, which, Connor, what do you understand City Trial?
My understanding of City Trial is that it's a mode where you collect not power-ups, but you essentially build your attributes for a certain amount of time before the trial ends, in which you are sent into a new event to try to use your character and your machine and your new attributes to win that event.
Right, a stadium challenge is what it's called. And it seems like that's like sort of mini game-y.
Yes.
But like that is the City Trial is just like the prep. Although events also happen during the City Trial.
Yes.
Like stuff goes on fire, there's a big thing to fight, or whatever. So okay, that's kind of all of this. Oh, and I just wanted to mention there are copy abilities, as there are in many Kirby games, but Kirby is no longer the only one who can copy abilities.
Yes.
Everyone can just do it. Bend the Kirby lore, because who cares?
Why not?
Why not? So, Connor, your overall impressions of this direct, of seeing Masahiro Sakurai for 45 minutes, and of the game in general.
It's so funny. I both wanted more detail, and absolutely half of the detail that we got from Sakurai. I am, like so many people, just absolutely charmed by him. I love his attention to detail, and I'm excited about this game, and I think I'm going to be getting this.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a fun game.
Yes.
I really look forward to, especially because like the City Trial looks like it has like a good setup for online play. You and I and Matt Apodaca had done a session of Mario Kart where like the three of us got on and we were playing Knockout Tour together and doing game chat and having a great time. And I feel like we could do that pretty easily with Air Riders.
Absolutely. And I would love to. And by that point, I will get a camera.
We'll see.
Yes.
I don't know why your camera didn't work.
It was weird. It was strange. It should have worked.
But so, yeah. So the direct itself, though, felt like fun to hang out. Like you said, he's a charming individual.
Yes.
Sakurai is. The whole presentation, every spoken word in it was in Japanese, which made it difficult to like chat about it as it was happening.
Yes.
Just because, I had to read everything that was on the screen.
Yeah, you couldn't continue to listen to the presentation while typing a thought that you have.
Yeah.
It's funny. I experienced a similar. I noticed the same thing because it was so long that normally during a direct, I will plant myself on the couch and watch the thing and chat. And this, at first I was planted, and then I started making coffee, peering back in, and being okay missing certain information about like a machine or a character or a mode. I just wanted to add that experience.
Yeah, it was just it's an interesting, and like, again, like this is the way that they would present new characters in Super Smash Brothers, but usually those were shorter, right? Like those are like 15 minutes maybe, which still feels like an in-depth exploration of a single character in a fighting game.
Yes.
We will get more information about this game as we get closer to it. And yeah, Connor.
One thing that I found so interesting about this, and forgive me if you if you covered it already, and actually you couldn't have. So
No.
this is your. What I found so interesting is that Sakurai tells us that the reason this game is being made is because Nintendo approached him to make it, correct?
Yes.
During the Smash Bros. While he was working on DLC for Ultimate?
Yes. So Shinya Takahashi from Nintendo and HAL Laboratories, Satoshi Mishihara, Mitsuhara, had both come to him and said and like asked him for a pitch on this game. So it is again being developed in house by Bandai Namco, not Nintendo, under the direction of Sora, which is just Sakurai.
Yes.
But yeah, it is interesting that like Nintendo went out shopping for, let's get him to develop a sequel to Kirby's Air Ride.
Have you already done an episode which is no? I feel like I'm remembering something you have just done or pitched of like franchises that we basically thought we'd never see again coming back, because I would have never expected a new Kirby Air Ride game.
No, I would not have. I would not have either.
Okay. Yeah.
And no, I don't think we've done like dead franchises that we'd like to see come back. But the phenomenon of like something that felt like it was gone and now here it is again.
Yeah.
Obviously Emio the Smiling Man is the Famicom Detective Club is a pretty good example of that. And yeah, it's leave it to Nintendo to be like, we're always thinking about our past and our franchises, and we will resurface them in any way that we deem appropriate. Like you can say that Donkey Kong Bananza is part of that too, because it's like we have had a 3D Donkey Kong game once, on the Nintendo 64, like 100 years ago. So yeah, it's one of my favorite things about them.
Yeah, it's great.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to this more so than I was before we got more info about it. I think it's crazy that we got more information about it before Metroid Prime 4 has a release date. But what are you gonna do? Next, let's talk about some news coming out of Gamescom and out of Opening Night Live. So Gamescom, of course, is the big game showcase that's happening, or was happening, is over now.
I believe it is.
In Cologne, Germany. So just a couple little things here and there, little bits and bobs. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, along with its DLC, The Order of Giants, is coming to Nintendo Switch too.
So interested to see how this is going to perform.
Me too.
I played this on the Xbox Series S earlier this year, the digital-only version, which does not have the same performance capabilities as the X.
Oh, interesting.
And there was a noticeable difference in the graphical quality, but I will say that did not take away from my enjoyment of this game. So
still maybe probably pretty good.
Yes.
I actually have a lot of faith in the Microsoft-developed games to run pretty well on Switch too, because they are like, Microsoft is sort of demanding that like all third-party developers release the same game on Series X and Series S.
Yes.
Just like the ability to scale, in terms of power. But because that's like their mandate, I think their internal studios are better at it, or like have that prioritized from the beginning of development. So yeah, I imagine the Series S version will play pretty well on Switch too.
Yeah, I hope more. I'm excited for more people to be able to play this game, especially if you're only a Switch 2 owner.
Right. Well, and I should play this game, but on PlayStation, right?
I think so.
Okay.
That's what I would have bought it on if I wasn't impatient.
Right.
And just played it on Game Pass.
Which perfectly acceptable way to play stuff. Also, Hollow Knight Silk Song has a release date, and it's like 2 weeks from now, September 4th. Hollow Knight Silk Song is real. It'll be available on Switch and Switch 2. So there you go.
And suddenly more people than just you and Mark have played it.
That's right. E3 2020 or 2019. Played it on Switch. Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight is coming to Switch 2 among the other platforms sometime in 2026. I gotta say, I like getting the like Arkham Asylum vibes from this game, and it's referring to a lot of like different Batman movies, and it seemed I caught like a couple comic references in there, but mostly the Arkham series and the movies is what I was able to divine from the trailer.
Gotcha.
How do you feel about Lego games just like in general?
They're not something I really seek out. I've had
Yeah.
a couple of really like meaningful fun experiences playing them though. Like
Yeah.
a weekend at my cousin's house when
Totally.
he was
Yes.
10 and I was 15. We played through all of the Star Wars games. But
Right.
so I don't think I'll be seeking this out, but you've played a few, at least a lot of the Star Wars ones, correct?
Yeah, I mean, I think the first one that I owned was the Lego Skywalker's
Mhm.
saga that came out just a couple of years ago. Another game that I didn't even play, but just saw demoed at E3 2019, and then they didn't talk about for years. Um, and I like that game. Okay, I don't love just like the Lego game format, like just where it's just kind of blindly beating
Mhm.
up bad guys and collecting bits and unlocking new stuff. It's just a little too simplistic for
Yes.
me. And Lego Skywalker Saga, Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga, pitched itself as like not a regular Lego game, but being like somehow a deeper, more open experience. And I think it is.
Mhm.
But that's like still by the standard of a Lego game. And I worry that that's what this Batman thing is as well.
I see.
So I don't know. I'll wait to like read some reviews about it when it comes out. But you know, man, I miss there's a point in the trailer where Batman uses explosive gel to draw the like bat symbol on a wall and then detonate it.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, oh man, I miss the Arkham games.
Yeah.
And like really got hit with that, like Suicide Squad killed the Justice League and like Gotham Knights, and it was like, man, they messed it up. I wish we still had this.
Yes.
And could this be that? Probably not.
Yeah.
But I felt that pang of longing.
Yes. It's still a Schrodinger's Batman at this point.
Totally, yes.
Yeah.
Right. Man, but every time we've opened that box lately, it's been a dead cat. Final Fantasy VII Remake, turns out, is looking pretty good on Switch.
Awesome.
I don't really know what to attribute that to, but it's cool that it reports are that it is running well and is an impressive like 60 FPS experience.
Incredible.
On Switch too. Very cool. Less good news on the Elden Ring and Borderlands 4 front. Elden Ring, the Tarnished Edition, is evidently having some performance issues, and it seems like neither of those games are looking particularly good on Switch 2.
Bummer.
Yeah, bummer. Play them elsewhere
Yeah.
if you can. The Switch 2 version of Yuka Replayly, the game with the worst title I've ever heard, is evidently going to be complete on the card. It is not a game key card.
Okay.
Which is an anomaly for third-party games at this point.
Okay.
Also, interesting little note that Yuka Replayly was one of the data points that people were like, Switch 2 is coming and it's coming soon, because when they announced it, they said it was coming to like Xbox Series S, S and X, PlayStation 5, and Nintendo.
I
that
see.
They didn't specify.
Yes.
So now that's all a full circle thing. And then, of course, Connor, the biggest news that everyone is talking about, Bubsy 4D is also coming to Switch and Switch 2.
Bustin' loose on the Switch family of consoles?
Does Bubsy bust loose?
Or is it Buster bust
Buster
loose?
definitely busts
But-
loose in the Animaniacs.
I don't know. Maybe Bubsy's going to bust loose too.
He could Bubs loose.
Bubsy Bubs loose. Blues.
Bubsy, does he sing the blues?
He better. in
Bubsy
this
should
one.
sing the blues. Over on the Digital Foundries podcast, hosts John Linneman and Oliver McKenzie discussed the apparent difficulty for third-party developers to get dev kits for Switch 2. And maybe, Connor, this speaks to what we were seeing in these like reactions to the third-party games like Elden Ring and Borderlands 4 not running particularly well on Switch 2. Linneman said on the podcast, quote, Nintendo seems to be almost discouraging Switch 2 development to some degree, where I've spoken with plenty of developers where they were either told that their game, that they should just ship it on Switch 1 and rely on backwards compatibility. There's a lot of developers that are unable to get Switch 2 dev kits. We talked to a lot of devs at GamesCom this year, and so many of them said the same thing. They want to ship their games on Switch 2.
That is so bizarre. I mean, I understand. I can. The writing's on the wall, and they explain it really well here. Why probably why that is happening, which is they can sell more copies of these games if they're also coming out on Switch 1.
Right, but then it's also like, why wouldn't that be what the developers want too?
Yes, and some of these games aren't coming to Switch Well, maybe it's not the case for those games.
Yeah,
Maybe
sure.
Elden Ring and Borderlands 4 have their own separate list of issues not related to this. But yeah, why? I don't know. If that is the case, it's like, why not? Don't you want the best version of the game available on the Switch too?
Yeah, I mean, you would think that you would.
Yeah.
There's also like we're in such a weird period right now where like the narrative of like what games are available on Switch 2 is such an important question, right? Where it's like, why get the Switch 2? And it's to play the games that you can only play there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And really, that's just first-party games. Any third-party game you can play somewhere else, and probably a better version of it somewhere
Mhm.
else. So I wonder if like Nintendo just being like kind of, in the period up to release that they wanted to really be like involved with the Switch 2 ports, at least like overseeing or selecting what those would be to be like representatives of the system early on. And they just haven't really switched gears into like, no, now everyone can do it.
Yes.
That
Yeah.
feels like a possibility.
That was kind of a question I had too, which was if this is the case, how long could this last for? Like, at what point
Right.
would they be like, we are going to allow more dev kits out there for people to deliberately develop for the Switch 2 ports,
Right.
and third party games, I guess.
Well, and I wonder if like even at this point it is open season and like anyone that wants one can get one. And it's just like by the time Digital Foundry is talking to people on a podcast about it, there's like a couple months delay of like that people actually are able to. And also like who knows? I'm taking the word of Lindemann as gospel here, and maybe it's just his experience with the devs that he talked to. So
very true. And I think you were kind of getting at, it is so early. We're less than 3 months into the life of this new console. So yeah, maybe it's already changed.
Maybe it is already changed. Japan's NDL, which is their version of the National Library, has stated that Switch 2 game key cards would not be eligible for placement in the library. The criteria is and has always been, quote, physical media that contains the content of the software itself, unquote. So obviously game key cards, which is a point of controversy within the sort of collector class of video gamers, don't qualify as far as the library is concerned.
That kind of makes perfect sense to me.
It makes perfect
sense.
sense.
Point of having it if at some point you won't be able to download the game.
Totally.
Yeah.
And that like echoes the concern about preservation and all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
But yeah, it's just it's nice to have like an official body be like, no, that's not the game.
Yeah. Who has no stake in the success of or the ease of a game being available on a console.
Right.
At its best, it has no care for that.
Right. And also like there's no that like if there's a body out there that is like immune from like console war crap or Nintendo fanboyism or whatever, that's not present there.
Yes.
So yeah, just an interesting little data point. Wanted us to pin that, keep track of it. 2 more games are coming to the Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection. This is exciting, Connor. Mortal Kombat Mythologies Sub-Zero and Mortal Kombat Special Forces are coming to the Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection. Do you know these games?
Not at all. Not at all.
Okay. So up until this point, we've just seen the like classic Mortal Kombat games like 1 through 4 and Trilogy and Mortal Kombat Advance and a Game Boy version, all this stuff, which is fun and what you would expect of like a Mortal Kombat collection. On PlayStation and I think PlayStation 2 are where these games are from. Mortal Kombat Mythologies and Sub-Zero and Mortal Kombat Special Forces are like action games that aren't fighting games that use the Mortal Kombat characters.
Oh boy.
So the Sub-Zero one is like a side scroller from like 1998 or something like that, where you play as Sub-Zero and you're like fighting guys and jumping over pits and like leveling up and like this kind of stuff. And the Mortal Kombat Special Forces, you play as Jax and Sonya, and it's like a 3D third-person action game with Mortal Kombat characters.
Yeah. It feels like this, at least your reaction is giving me the impression that this is a complete surprise and something people probably thought they'd never see again.
They're like the quintessential like failed brand expansion.
Yes.
Right? where they're like, no, Mortal Kombat can be anything. And they
It
try
can
to
be a
they're like,
racer.
never mind.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat can't be at least these two specific
Yes.
things. So yeah, it's really cool to see them back.
All right.
And this was going to be a day one pickup for me anyway. But I'm very excited to have these two, and they're not good games, Connor.
Sure. Yes.
But like, just
It's the curiosity.
let me mess around with them
Yeah.
for a little bit. When the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Cowabunga collection came out, I played through a lot of those games, including playing the original NES Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and then I just like spammed the heck out of Rewind and like save states, and beat it for the first time ever. And that was like a life-changing. It's just so great to have that monkey off your back.
Yes.
And I feel like playing some of these Mortal Kombat games can be like a similar get the monkey off my back.
Absolutely.
I've now at least experienced Mortal Kombat Mythologies Sub-Zero. So I'm very excited about that.
That's exciting. When does that come out?
I don't think it has a date yet.
Okay.
Sometime.
Sometime.
The game exists. Maybe it has a date. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, Connor.
Who cares?
Not me. And finally, here we go. Maybe we even should have led with this. Who knows? There are rumors of a Nintendo Direct for September. At the Switch Force on Twitter claims that September 12th, which is a Friday, is the date of a Nintendo Direct. Other rumors have claimed that it would be on a non-typical day, so Friday qualifies. Other little data points to consider here. September puts it right in the 40th anniversary of Super Mario Brothers. Obviously, we celebrated the 35th anniversary during COVID with a couple things.
Yeah.
The release of Super Mario 35 and
3D All-Stars.
some pins. Yeah, 3D All-Stars came out the January.
I think it's
after
where they
that.
also announced 3D World plus Bowser's Fury.
Yeah, I think that's probably right.
So.
But so all like, all this sort of like leads up to the idea that we could be getting a Nintendo Direct in September, possibly the 12th. Also, with the exception of last year, Nintendo always does a Direct in September, so it would not be strange to expect them to do it again. Connor, how you feeling about the likelihood that we're going to have a Direct in September?
The last few months have been so strange, especially with this Kirby Air Riders Direct.
Yes.
I would have, especially because it's coming out so far in the future, in November rather.
Right.
That I would have expected that to just be in its own presentation and get that Direct in early November or late October.
Right.
So,
well, what's so interesting is like that Direct was not like any of the other game-specific Directs that we've gotten this year, right? Because it was so in-depth and so long, like more than double either of the other two.
Yes.
That it's like you could not have slotted that into a regular Direct.
Of course, yes.
Right? So like I feel like it does not take the place of a Nintendo Direct at all.
Definitely not. I just had my expectations completely thrown out of whack for what I would have also assumed would have been coming, which is a more traditional-esque Nintendo Direct around September. But I hope that one comes. I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't.
You wouldn't be surprised if it didn't. I would be surprised because we do. So obviously, we will need to get that Metroid Prime 4 release date before the end of the year if it's coming out this year, and I believe that it will. But beyond that, they got to start talking about next year.
Yes, that's true.
And we know that there's a Rhythm Heaven game and a Tomodachi Life game coming out on Switch 1. But like, there's no way we're going to get to the end of the year without knowing more about other Switch 2 specific games that are coming out next year. Like we need that refresh.
We absolutely do. We've just about exhausted, with the exception of Prime 4 we don't have a release date for yet.
Yeah.
We've really exhausted a lot of almost all the first party excitement that many people have had for what is coming for Nintendo, and a lot of that has come out. Mario Kart World, Bananza, we have a date and a lot of information about Air Riders.
And Pokemon.
Yeah. There's just a lot of unknowns at this point. And it's not quite like before the Switch 2 Direct came, a level of unknowns, but it's
enough. It's enough unknowns.
It's exciting.
Like, we need answers.
Yeah.
I think it's also That was one of those things where I was winding up and like
It
forgetting
left your
what I was
brain.
gonna say
No!
as I was winding up to it. Yeah, we simply must know what's gonna happen next year.
Yes.
Oh, this was it. That with the exception of this Splatoon Raiders, which got announced via a Nintendo Today update, all of these Switch 2 games that are coming out through the remainder of this year were all revealed in that Switch 2 like reveal showcase, right? Nothing else has been announced since then, with the exception of Splatoon Raiders.
Yes.
And that was in April. So like in the last 4 months, we've had one Nintendo game announced.
Yeah.
And that's like a really loose shape of Splatoon Raiders, whatever that ends up being.
Yeah. There's a lot.
So it's time.
Yeah, it absolutely is.
All right, Connor, let's close out the news. Conner McCabe, thank you so much for joining me on this, man.
Patrick Ellers, thanks for having me. It's always a blast to be on this with you guys.
It's just me right now.
I know, but I feel Mark. I feel Mark.
You feel,
and I want Mark to know I'm thankful for it as well.
Yeah,
for his absence and my opportunity.
No, Mark's presence is always felt in the structure of the show and everything, and also he will be back on the Thursday episode. This is one of those ones where we recorded it like a month ago.
Wow.
And I forgot what we said. I'm very excited to review it. Connor, anything you would like to plug before we get out of here?
Yeah, a couple things that you have all already heard. First, also, if you want to follow me on Blue Sky, if we have any Blue Sky participators out there, I'm just at Conner McCabe. That's ConnerMcCabe. I'm also at Cons in the Discord. You probably see me chatting. Check out my podcast, Call Me By Your Game, and also our free version of our Games Club series at Super NPC Games Clubs. Also, our Games Club. Also, wherever you get your podcast, where we go through a game chapter by chapter, and there's some Nintendo stuff in the past.
Currently making your way through Mass Effect?
It's actually, tomorrow, the day that this releases, BioShock Episode 3 will come out.
Oh, BioShock.
We covered the original game.
Well, very exciting. So check that stuff out there. Connor, again, thank you so much for joining me on this. At home, if you would like to be in the Discord, email us, Nintendo Cartridge Society at gmail.com. I'll send you an invitation. Get in there, talk with us about Nintendo. Anthony DeLuca made our logo. Our theme music is provided by 8-Bit Betty. I'm sorry, before I actually play the outgoing music, just want to remind everyone that one more episode this week, and then we are taking next week off. So there'll be 2 episode spaces where there is no NCS.
Don't make me remind you in the Discord.
Don't make me remind you. If someone gets on the Discord and is like, no episode today, I'm going to be like, listen to the end of that episode. Theme music, 8-Bit Betty, 8bitbetty.com, or right now. For my co-host, Conner McCabe, this is Patrick Eller saying thank you for listening.